center path, and we're going to go over a little bit more in depth some of the points on the cheat sheet, which you can get if you go to the blog or you go to the website, thecenterpath.org. Don't forget to give a like and a comment. You're going to want to comment on this. You're going to want to actually look at this because we're going to talk to you about the Four Brahma Viharas and a little bit more in depth on those. So we know those as metta, which is loving kindness, karuna, which is compassion, sympathetic joy, mudita, and upeska, which is equanimity. But we're going to go a little bit deeper on these, and this is part of the practice. One of the things I did is I started to post a challenge to all the Buddhist friends I see on social media, including Reddit and Facebook and a couple different places. But there's a lot of Facebook groups that wouldn't allow this actual practice to be posted, and it's because they haven't done the practice to get good enough or to center themselves enough, and they're very scattered in their minds, and they're not committed to the practice of trying to get themselves to be better and to think better and to cultivate these processes of compassion and equanimity and loving kindness and even sympathetic joy. So the two main ones I want to work on today, and I think if you can just sit and work with these, is really very valuable. It's very difficult though. Okay, so we're going to take something that's just happened in the real world in the news, which is the election that happened here in the United States. So Donald Trump lost his election and so had to move out of the White House, and Joe Biden won and had to move in. And there was tons and tons and tons. You may have remembered if you saw it Facebook or any of the social media, there was tons and tons of just blow up people being so angry or so hurt that Joe Biden won, or so angry that Trump lost, or so happy that Trump lost, and so, or they hated him so much, or whatever it was. And so, there were a lot of anger, a lot of fear, brought up a lot of emotions and stuff like that. And this is one of the things we're trying to work with in Buddhism psychologically for ourselves. And remember, Buddhism is about stress. Buddhism is about dealing with stress and bettering your mind so it works better, so that you can approach the world and be less affected negatively by it, and understand it better, and strive to understand it, and be calm enough to watch and to see. Remember, we want to sit to be still, and then we're still enough, we become calm. If we're calm enough, we start to look inside. As we start to look inside, we start to have insights. As we start to have insights, we start to think of different things. We start to see and develop our minds and develop our compassion or our equanimity or our loving kindness or whatever it is, if we're looking at those things, or a wisdom, right? So we're trying to really work on those things, and that should be our practice. And it's hard to transfer some of this stuff, but even on this, like a cheat sheet and stuff that I've had, it's a two-sided sheet that has kind of the basics of Buddhism. It's hard to get that to transfer over into everyday life sometimes, but this is a perfect example. So what I want you to do is, if you have a real problem, or you had a problem with Trump, and you had emotional and like feelings come up and sensations come up when you see their picture, you hear stories about them, or for Biden, whoever it is. When that happens, you have to look at where it's coming from, just like the random thoughts that come when we do meditation. And in the process of slowly looking at these people and seeing how these things show up, we can stop them and we can change them, and we don't have reactions, we don't lose sleep, and we don't have digestive issues because of this, and we don't have mental problems because of this, and we don't run around angry and spiteful. So in the case, if you hated Donald Trump, for example, and you were upset of all the things he did, that's the time to do two kinds of meditation for him. Number one is to do compassion, to work on compassion, seeing him compassionately, understanding that he is going to do the things that we're all going to do. He's going to get older, he's going to get sick, he's going to die. Now, some of you are already thinking, well, I hope he does. And that's the problem we have. We need to catch ourselves from doing that ahead of time, and to really work a process of becoming so practiced that it's automatic to have compassion, or at least equanimity, at least some kind of like neutrality towards something until we have all the information. Now, it doesn't mean we need to be violent. It doesn't mean we need to totally accept it. That's not what we're saying. That's never what we're saying. And in Buddhism, there's things that occur that are incorrect that we need to address, but we need it through education, through wisdom, through calm, not through aggression. Um, there's so many people online that we saw that were so in upheaval emotionally and psychologically because of the changes in the past few weeks. And if we can develop compassion for those people and for Donald Trump, and to see them as what they are, as suffering beings and beings worthy of love and compassion. And if you're on the other side of that, whatever you call it, the aisle, I suppose, then we need to work on being more sympathetically joyful for Joe Biden, because he won and he did it. I mean, whether good, bad, or otherwise, whether he did it as a perfectly, everything was counted exactly, or whatever the situation is, but he's there. So let's give him as much power as he can get. Let's give him some space. Let's give him some, why hassle if someone's trying to do a good job or they're trying to do a job? Let's get out of their way for a little bit and wish them well. I don't care either way. I'm not, I don't identify as a Republican or a Democrat or even a Libertarian. I'm kind of a nihilist when it comes to those things, because I want to see things in the grander picture. It has to do with people. It has to do with humanity, and it has to do with not just humanity, but it's the world. And we need a lot of compassion to develop, and we need to develop our own metta and loving kindness towards people. Of course, some equanimity too. Remember, those are the Brahma Viharas. Remember, Brahma Vihara comes from the Brahmin tradition. The Brahma has 4 faces, okay, and each one of those has one of these attributes, as loving kindness or compassion or equanimity and sympathetic joy. And these are things to develop in ourselves. It's a very good thing to develop, because we can do that by sitting down and doing the meditations. The more you practice the meditation of compassion, and just if you're doing the let's say metta bhavana, which you can look up on here. It's in my cheat sheet. It's on there. You can find it all over the place. And if you need to, let me know, and I'll maybe do a whole other one on that one. It's to see, not only to sit and to be calm and to seal off your space in your mind so that you're very still, right? That's your first thing. Get to the breath, get the monkey mind kind of calmed down, so it at least takes a nap for a little while. And then envision or imagine your most loved being that you care about, or beings. It could be your family, it could be your pets, or whatever it is. And those we want to really see and in that glow of loving kindness, and how we just want them to do better. We want them to have less suffering and less affliction and less pain and more happiness. May all beings be happy. May they be free from worry. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from affliction. May they find it easy to take care of themselves. If we can do that for them, then we can go to the next step, which is our friends, the next step out from those people that we still enjoy being around and we still want to see good for. Very easy to do, right? You see friends and acquaintances, maybe some other family members that are in that inner circle. You want them to be happy. You want them to be without suffering. Now we got to go a next step out from that one, and that's to the neutral people who are neutral, that we don't know maybe, but we've seen, people we drive by every day, people we walk by in the store, people we stand in front of or behind in line, people that we interact with in a drive-through or at a market or something like that. And those are people that we'll be friendly to and kind to, but we want to wish them happiness. And then even people we see on the sides of the road or elsewhere around, these are neutral persons. Then we need to go to people we've had problems with, right? People we've had actual difficulties with, whether that's a family member or whether that's a sports team that we don't like, or whether it's a political figure that we don't like. And that's the harder part to do. And we get all the way to the enemies of us, or people who want to wish us harm. We still want to offer them that love and compassion. Now, we don't want to be stupid and let them come in the house with a hammer and hit us or something, but we still want to portray that kindness, that loving kindness towards them, right? And as we practice that, we get better at it, and it becomes more of the first emotion to come up rather than fear, anger, hate, greed, and delusion. Right, so we don't want jealousy and all these kind of other bad things, unskillful or unuseful things that don't help us become more stable, calm, and kind in the world. So that's the practice. Sit down and try it. I mean, give yourself a couple minutes and just see what shows up. I mean, maybe that picture, if you have a picture of them, perhaps you can bring that up. I posted this on, I think, 5 different Reddit uh, um, subreddits, which is like Buddhism and engaged Buddhism. I don't know if I did secular Buddhism, but I did meditation and mindfulness. And I'm still waiting to kind of see how those did. I posted it also to like 5 or 6 different Facebook groups, which was Buddhism and meditation for beginners, and it was denied. And that's because it brings up emotions for people, and that's we need to practice. That's why we practice. This isn't all fun and lolly fluffy. Everything's always wonderful. Sometimes it's hard work. And it should be hard work because we're trying to fix this. We're trying to get this in control, not have this be in control of us. Other groups too, it was accepted in, I think, just plain Buddhism or meditation practice. Where did it go? I'm looking at the computer right now so I can show you. Buddhism and daily practice. Which was good. I mean, it's good to see. And now there's a discussion on those. And now people have to conceive of like, wow, what's it like to show loving kindness to someone I didn't like? Or what's it like to have joy and sympathetic joy for someone I didn't want to win? It's being a good sportsman, by the way. So anyway, this is Reverend Sean over the Center Path. Don't forget to subscribe on the bottom because I'm going to be posting a lot more like this because we need to put this stuff into practice. I'm going to be doing some of the practice stuff, maybe some guided stuff, but always a putting meditation into daily practice, putting Buddhism into daily practice, because if we keep it in this weird traditional place of only ceremony, chanting, and just sitting by ourselves, we're not applying it as directly, and we totally can. I mean, it's very good to do that and be secluded and go to the forest. Go to the forest and go outside. You got to go outside. That's the best thing for you. But I mean, getting into a forest or go to a temple where it's quiet and there's no distractions is wonderful, but there's always distractions, and we need to learn to adapt and deal with them because that's the way the world is. We cannot escape the world. We're in it. There's nowhere to go. You know, if you want to be in this world, be in this world. And if you're not, learn to live in it. Because you can. I mean, you can be happy with this stuff. It's not a big deal. So this is Reverend Sean over the Center Path. I want you guys to take care of yourselves. Do well. Be well. May you be free from worry. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy.